Hey guys, it's Rob here and welcome back to another video. So in this video we do have some more Nintendo Switch 2 updates. These include Nintendo Switch 1 price hikes for Nintendo Switch OLED, Switch Lites, those kind of things, even the accessory side of things. We also have some download sizes for games like Pac-Man World, Re-Pac 2, and Borderlands 4. And Square Enix has given us an update on the upgrade path for the Nintendo Switch 2 version of Octopath Traveler 0. It's kind of unfortunate news in my personal opinion, and some smaller, cooler updates as well. If you guys end up enjoying this video, make sure you guys leave a like. It really does help push the video, and if you want more videos like this, of course subscribe to the channel. So when it comes to Mario Kart World, I think a lot of people do have a lot of different opinions on the game. Some people say it is not a good game. Some people really love the game. Other people are kind of in the middle, and other people just didn't pick up the game. But one discussion around Mario Kart World that I've been seeing a lot around different players, whether you like it or you don't like it, is the maps and specifically the multiplayer. So this is what my Nintendo News has to say on the new update, which might make a lot of people happier, or at least it might make the multiplayer a better experience for you. Mario Kart World has been updated to version 1.2.0 on Nintendo Switch 2. The midsize update patches out dozens of known bugs and issues and makes quite a few gameplay adjustments as well. In the widespread complaints from the Mario Kart community regarding a change made in the previous update, Nintendo has increased the frequency of the lap type courses appearing in online course selection. And that was one of the things that a lot of people were complaining about. Well, I don't want to say complaining because I don't think it's a complaint. I think that's a valid criticism, in my personal opinion anyways. Maybe someone else has a different opinion down in the comment section below and they do consider that a complaint. But with that being said, these were some of the changes. In the versus race of single player mode, added no computer to the computer rules. In versus races of single player and multiplayer, added mushrooms only to item rules. You can now choose view replay after downloading ghost data in time trials. You can now choose whom to watch when spectating in Knockout Tour and Balloon Battle in online play, wireless play, and LAN play. You can now change the waiting time until the next race and battle starts in online play, wireless play, and LAN play. When using camera play in multiplayer and online play, the game will now remember the camera cursor position and size until the player closest to the game, closes the game. If you change the number of people playing, the cursor position and size will return to the original settings. On the free roam map, when you gather all the P-switches, panels, or question mark panels, and Peach medallions, the colors of the various numbers will now change. Made computers weaker in everything other than battle. Made homing of boomerang weaker. That's kind of interesting because I never really came across a problem with the boomerang, though I play offline. I don't play online with other people, so maybe that's why. Anyways, continuing with the last couple few. Decrease the probability of getting a triple dash mushroom in the low position whenever the item rule in the race are anything other than frantic. Changed it so the order of getting question block is higher than in the past, whenever the items in a race are anything other than frantic. Made it so that the wheel spinning animation, if the player presses the A button acceleration too early when starting the race while driving. That's something that I've had trouble with actually, is just getting that down. I really don't know what the timing is. It seems to be very sporadic. But anyways, continuing. Players will not lose speed even when spinning wheels. Increase the frequency of lap type courses appearing in the selection when choosing the next course in versus race and wireless races. And that is the last for changes that are made to the multiplayer and gameplay. There's a bunch of bug fixes. If you guys are curious on that, the article will be in the link in the description below if you want to check that out. But with that being said, let's move on to some more unfortunate news. So it seems there's going to be a price hike for Nintendo Switch OLED, Lite, and their original Nintendo Switch when it comes to the price of these, alongside all the other price hikes for different things like Amiibos, the Alarmo, Nintendo Switch consoles, accessories, all of that stuff. So let's go over this news. As promised, Nintendo has put up the pricing of Nintendo Switch consoles, accessories, Amiibo, and Alarmo. The Kyoto-based company said on Friday that these changes will come into effect today. Looking at retailers, the Nintendo Switch OLED model is retailing for $400. The standard Nintendo Switch is $340. Nintendo Switch Lite is $230. Alarmo is $110, and the original Switch Joy-Cons are $90, and the Amiibos are mostly $20. Pricing for Nintendo Switch 2 consoles thankfully remain affected. Now I do have to say something on that specific last part. I have a feeling if things do get worse, I have a feeling it's gonna, I don't know why I said that twice. I think the Nintendo Switch 2 price could end up going up as well in the future if things do get worse. That's one of the reasons why I picked up the Nintendo Nintendo Switch 2 at launch, just in case it did end up going up, and thankfully I did, because I just have a really bad sinking gut feeling that it is gonna go up. Now there is further information that My Nintendo News has on this, and even an update on Target's price, which they already seem to increase it. This is what they said. Update: Target has already applied the price increase with the Nintendo Switch OLED retailing now for $399.99. The current Switch model is now $339.99, and the Switch Lite is $229.99. So yeah, there are already retailers already putting the price up. Now it was supposed to go into effect on August 3rd, so that's no surprise. I'm sure they see that as making money faster and sooner, which kind of sucks for the consumer. It sucks for us that we have to pay more. Things are already expensive. The fact that things are still getting expensive just sucks. But let's continue with the article. Nintendo of America is following Nintendo Canada and will be making Nintendo products more expensive in the United States. This will affect the Nintendo Switch family of systems alongside the selected accessories and amiibos. The change will go into effect on August 3rd, so today at the time of this recording, and prices could increase by as much as $50. It will be interesting to see exactly how much prices on Nintendo products will go up on Sunday. So it seems like a lot of things are going up other than the Nintendo Switch 2, and I can see from Nintendo's standpoint why they did that instead of raising the price of the Nintendo Switch 2, because the Nintendo Switch 2 is a new console. You don't want to raise that price after it just came out, right? And also, a lot of people already have a Nintendo Switch 1 or a Switch Lite or things like that, so the people who are going to still be buying these consoles are in a small portion, I'm assuming anyways. I mean, if some cool special edition comes out for the original Nintendo Switch, I would probably pick it up, especially if it's like an OLED or a Switch Lite, because I still feel like those do have their place among the Nintendo Switch and fan base. I don't know why I said Nintendo Switch and fan base, but the Nintendo Switch 1 is something I think they're trying to keep the price down as low as possible, so that entry for the next generation of the Switch is still applicable. I don't know why I said applicable. I've never used that word. People can still buy the Switch 2 is what I'm saying. I just hope that price for the Nintendo Switch 2 doesn't go up eventually because of market conditions, like they're always saying. Now, I probably shouldn't have to say this. I think you guys already know what I'm going to say about the prices. I don't like the prices going up. No one likes paying more money, right? Though I do want to give you guys an option and a question. Would you rather have the Nintendo Switch 2 go up, or would you rather have what they did here and have like the accessories and the Nintendo Switch 1 models go up? Let me know in the comment section below. Now, as for like the Nintendo Switch online memberships, this is what My Nintendo News has to say. Pricing for the Nintendo Switch 2 system, physical and digital Nintendo Switch and Nintendo Switch 2 games, as well as Nintendo Switch online memberships, will remain unchanged at this time. However, please note that the price adjustments may be necessary in the future. So that just translates to, we'll change it if we need to, essentially. Which again, I hope they don't. But yeah, let me know your thoughts on this down in the comment section below. And moving on to the next topic, it seems that we do have some pretty unfortunate news when it does come to Square Enix's new game, Octopath Traveler 0. So recently in the news, when it was first announced, we found out that this was going to be a game key card, which was already bad in and of itself, in my personal opinion. And sometimes there is a way to go around it. You could always buy the Nintendo Switch 1 version and then get the upgrade for the Nintendo Switch 2. Sometimes that is possible, or just buy the Nintendo Switch 1 version because there's not really too much of a difference between the two versions. That is a workaround for that, and that's not going to be possible with Octopath Traveler 0. So this is what My Nintendo News has to say. Square Enix has bad news for those who are planning to buy the original Nintendo Switch version of the newly announced Octopath Traveler 0, as there will be no upgrade path to the Nintendo Switch 2 version if you decide to upgrade to the newer console at a later date. Now, they also state in the article that Square Enix just didn't give a reason why this was the case, which is just really weird. They're doing the same thing for the upcoming Dragon Quest 1 and 2 HD Remake 2, which is very unfortunate. But this was their official statement. It is not possible to upgrade from the Switch version to the Switch 2 version once purchased. There are also no plans for an option to upgrade the Switch 2 version in the future. Make sure you purchase the correct version. And I do have to say, couldn't they at least add like a $10 option to unlock the Switch 2 version and just download it digital, right? At least that's something. It's better than nothing, right? And this is for like people who buy the Switch 2 later and they already own the Switch 1 version. It kind of feels like they're just leaving money on the table at that point. I really don't get the reasoning behind this unless I don't know. No, it wouldn't even, it would just be like a download through the eShop. So what is the reason behind this? It's really weird. Let me know if anyone knows more about that down in the comment section below, because it is a very weird thing. Even if it's just like a $10 or $5 upgrade, it's like, it's more money for Square Enix. It allows people who get the Nintendo Switch 2 later to buy a Switch 2 and have that version of the Nintendo Switch 2 version of Octopath Traveler 0. So I really don't get why Square Enix is doing this. It's kind of weird. Moving on to some more news for the Nintendo Switch 2 games. Borderlands 2, which is a game keycard, by the way, if you guys didn't know that, it's going to cost $69.99, and the amount of data you're going to have on your system or on your memory card is going to be 40 gigabytes. Pac-Man World 2 Re-Pac is pretty small. It's going to be 6.4 gigabytes, and that's going to be $29.99, and that is also a game keycard. And the last bit of news we have is for Kirby Air Riders. So this is what my Nintendo News has to say. The long-awaited new installment in the Kirby Air Riders series has been rated in Saudi Arabia and has been given a 7+ age rating. Apparently, games are only rated in Saudi Arabia when development is complete. If true, then the game's release shouldn't be too far off. Nintendo has simply stated that Kirby Air Riders is out this year. And this is what really is pretty interesting here now that I think about it. I actually didn't read the article before I started recording this video, but now something has popped in my head. So if this is complete, right, and we don't have that release date, but Nintendo has said that this is going to be a 2025 release, does that mean we still have one Nintendo Direct left in this month, and that's where they're going to announce the release date and give gameplay and stuff? A September or maybe even like a November or October Nintendo Direct, something like that, like right before the end of the year. I'd be very curious. Now, we do still have that Super Mario 40th Anniversary Nintendo Direct that everyone is expecting, if Nintendo is even going to do that in the first place. Or, you know, they could hold the September Nintendo Direct and the 40th Anniversary Nintendo Direct for Mario as well. I mean, Nintendo has done 2 Nintendo Directs very close to each other. If you guys remember, the Nintendo Switch 2 Nintendo Direct, and then also there was another Nintendo Direct close to that. So, I mean, it's not off the table, you know. That is very interesting that when things are rated in Saudi Arabia, that means the development is complete. Because if that's the case, then we should be getting that release date news. They could always drop it on Twitter too. I mean, they dropped Splatoon Raiders on, and we actually need more information on Splatoon Raiders too, because they did say we were going to get more information on that game later on. So I'd be really curious on what Nintendo's plan is. But yeah, that's all the updates for the Nintendo Switch 2 games, for like Mario Kart World, Kirby Air Riders, you know, Square Enix games, and all that great stuff. Let me know what your thoughts, in the comment section below, and I will see you guys in the next video. Take care.